Top 9 Lattafa perfumes that I bought in 2023. Of course, I think maybe one or two I would have bought in 2022 towards the end, which could be November or December. So I'm still counting them in this particular list because I remember I reviewed them in my Hindi channel in 2023, and majority of them I purchased very recently in 2023, somewhere in January. So let's get started. What's up guys, this is Yasser, welcome back to my channel. So today I'll be talking about 9 different perfumes from the brand Lattafa which I very recently purchased. So these could be a great option for you as well for 2023. Okay, so coming in at number 9 is Lattafa Pure Musk, which is a very simple but beautiful white musk perfume. If you are somebody who likes simple musky fragrance, this is definitely that you have to try, because this comes for around 1200 along with the deodorant. This is 100 ml. I think the deodorant is about 75 ml. I'm not really sure. It comes along with the perfume for 1200. For that price, this is definitely worth it. If you like nice, simple, white, musky fragrance. There is a bit of white floral sweetness as well, which is beautifully done, not overly sweet, white floral sweetness with that white musk. Beautiful fragrance, definitely something that you can wear for the high summers. You can wear it for the early winters as well. And if you're somebody, like I said, who likes white musk fragrance, 100% must try, because I have a viewer who always tells me that he gets a lot of compliments with this one. I did not personally wear it outside. You can still see the level that it is still full. But when I tested it, I did get good performance, and it reminded me of a very famous brand, Maison Anthony Marmin's Musk Al Faransi. Okay, this is one of their top seller. Of course, this is natural. This is more on the synthetic side, but when you smell it in the air, there is hardly any difference, guys, because this of course has a lot of that beautiful natural character. This does not give the natural character, but does not mean that it smells synthetic. Okay, in the air it smells beautiful. So I'm sure the guy who told me that he gets a lot of compliments is definitely making sense to me, because this is so beautiful in the air, especially in the high summer heat. This is definitely going to project and perform really good. I did get a good performance when I tested as well. I got about 9 to 10 hours with great projection of 2 to 3 hours, provided you can sense white musk. Okay, don't compare this with Musk Rijali, because that is more of odorless fragrance, but because this one has that white floral sweetness character, it can be detected much better than Musk Rijali. Okay, so coming in at number 8 is Qaid Al Fursan, a beautiful bottle. This is usually compared with Nishane Hasiwat because it has that Aventus DNA with that oak mossy or earthy dry down. But to my nose, it also has that Bakar Rouge 540's Maltol DNA, which is not my favorite these days, because I've seen that Lattafa and many other Middle Eastern brands are using that Maltol note in a lot of their fragrances these days, and that is getting a little boring to my nose. If you remember Armaf Iconic, which I very recently reviewed in my Hindi channel, that also has it, but that's one of the best Maltol note that I've ever tried till date. Okay, the best Maltol note that I've ever tried. This one has that harsh Maltol note, but for this price you can't really expect anything beyond, because this costs again around 1300, somewhere around that if I remember correctly. A very nice Aventus DNA with that oak mossy earthy dry down along with Bakar Rouge 540's Maltol DNA. Performance is really good. I don't know why some people say that they don't get the performance. I'm sure you're going nose blind, because Maltol note also has that character. It can make you nose blind. For me, this projects for about 2.5 to 3 hours, and easily I get about 9 to 10 hours of lasting. At number 7 is Lattafa Raid. The juice color itself is a close match to MYNTRA Sidrat Boise. Okay, this is a very popular fragrance. Again, an Aventus DNA, but with that orange note along with vanilla dry down. This also smells kind of similar, but it's not an exact clone of Sidrat Boise. I wouldn't call it as a clone of Sidrat Boise, because this also plays around with that Bakar Rouge 540 DNA in the base, also with some woody accord. Okay, this also has Sidrat Boise with that Maltol note and that woody base. So it is a different fragrance, but it definitely reminds you of Sidrat Boise. I've done a separate review in my Hindi channel. You can check it out if you want to watch the full-fledged review. Okay, the performance again is definitely great. 2 to 3 hours of projection and good 9 to 10 hours of lasting. At number 6 is from the Pride series of Lata, which is a little expensive, costs around 2300 to 2400. If you like Club de Nuit Intense EDT old batch, which has that birch spiciness, this is definitely that you have to try, because Lattafa EDT these days costs around 3000. This comes around 2300 to 2400. And if you're looking for that birch smoky Aventus DNA, Shine Silver is definitely that you have to try. The performance is still great. I got about 15 hours of lasting on my clothes, but it does not project like Armaf Club de Nuit Intense. But that doesn't mean that it's weak in projection. It's still projected about 2 to 3 hours, but within 2 feet. It does not go beyond that, and it does not have that musk note which Armaf Club de Nuit Intense has, but it definitely has that smoky birch character. At number 5 is Lattafa Asad, a very beautiful clone of a very recent release which is from Dior Sauvage, named as Elixir. Okay, I have the official 2 ml VL. I'm not a huge fan of this because of the pricing, because 60 ml costs around 11,000. I didn't see it to be worth, especially for a blend like that. And I heard that 100 ml comes for around 14,000. I still don't feel that it's worth that price. I would rather go with Sauvage EDT, which is still very popular but very, very common. And Elixir is also getting very common, because it's not just Lattafa who has cloned it. There are many other local Indian brands. I have reviewed them in my channel as well. They also have cloned it and they are very, very close. But this one is the best out of all of them. A very nice fresh fragrance with some nutmeggy spiciness, with some patchouli DNA. I sense the patchouli a lot in this, even in the Elixir, but that is very smooth, the Dior one. But here the patchouli is a bit synthetic. But for the price, you shouldn't be really complaining, because this costs around 1500, and for that price, you can't expect the patchouli note that Dior can give for 11,000. Okay. In the dry down, you would also get some bit of sandalwood and lavender. Overall, it's a beautiful fragrance, and the plus point is this performs really good for the summers. I heard from few people that they get a lot of compliments with this one. So there are high chances that you also can get. I personally did not wear it outside. Like I said, I'm not a huge fan of this combination. I'm not a huge fan of Dior as well, so I have never worn it outside. But as a fragrance of its own, it's still very good for that price. You are likely to get compliments. It's an easy to wear sort of fragrance, and performance is really good. I get 10 plus hours with this one, with good 3 hours of projection. At number 4 is another very popular fragrance from Lattafa, which is called as Kamra. The bottle itself looks like a whiskey bottle, and this is an inspired version of Angel Share by Kilian, which is also very popular, but that's very, very expensive. For 50 ml that costs around 12,000. This you only get for 2,000, around that, if I remember correctly, for 100 ml. And that is why this is popular. Okay, if you like nice boozy fragrance along with some praline and caramel, a very nice sweetness of vanilla, this is definitely that you have to try. I'm not a huge fan of sweet fragrances these days, but if I have to suggest you guys, based on the formulation, I would still say that this is worth. Okay, because in the air, it smells very fantastic. It is a gourmandish type of fragrance. If you like sweet fragrances, you're 100% going to like this one. But if you smell it up close, the base note, which has that woody character, is a little bit synthetic, but you can't really complain that, because Kilian's Angel Share costs 12,000 for a 50 ml. You obviously can't compare that quality with this one. For this price, this is fantastic, because in the air, it smells gorgeous, guys. If you like gourmand fragrance, you have to try this one. At number 3 is another beautiful fragrance from Lattafa, which is a crowd pleaser and has that Invictus DNA, and that is called Lattafa Hayati. Okay, I've recently reviewed it in my Hindi channel as well. You can check it out. This is known to be an inspired version of Invictus Victory. It does have that Invictus DNA, but it is more or less compared with Invictus Victory, which is a new release from the Pack Urbane series. And that is slightly different, because that doesn't have that aquatic character, which this one has, but it definitely has that Invictus DNA. This is more on lemon, lavender, tonka and vanilla. Okay, so the dry down is a little bit sweeter. It's less aquatic, like I said, and that is why this is compared with Invictus Victory. Beautiful fragrance, very highly complimenting type of fragrance, because it has that Invictus DNA, which is known to get compliments. The performance is also pretty decent, 2 to 2.5 hours of projection and 8 hours of lasting. Very good option for the summers. Okay, you definitely have to check it out. That also costs around 1,500 if I remember. At number 2, now 2 and 1 are my absolute favorite. Not based on the lasting, I never choose fragrance based on lasting. It is always my second preference. This is based on formulation, and that is none other than Lattafa Riffs. Okay, a fantastic clone of Geo Profumo, the black bottle. Geo Profumo. Some people compare this with Profondo, but I felt this is more on the Profumo side, which itself is so popular. The only difference is you won't get that aquatic feel which Armani gives, and that's obvious, right? Because this comes around 6,000. You're getting this only for 1,200 to 1,300. For this price, this is fantastic, guys. Fantastic clone. Okay, 85% similar, except for that beautiful aquatic note which Armani gives. You won't find that here, but otherwise the formulation is fantastic. Beautiful citrus and patchouli fragrance. Okay, great for the summers. You can wear it for early winters as well. Great for office as well, because this doesn't over project nor it annoys people. You are going to smell fantastic with this one. The performance is decent. 2 hours of decent projection and 7 to 8 hours of lasting is what I get on clothes. Okay, at number 1, this is my absolute favorite from Lattafa in 2023, and that is none other than Alkium Silver, which is from their Pride series. Again, Pride series, I only have 2 bottles as of now, which is Shine Silver. All the Pride series are priced around 2,300 to 2,400, between that. This is also one of them, and this is my absolute favorite for 2023 from Lattafa, guys. And that's because this is a beautiful clone of Bulgari Tiger. Okay, Bulgari Tiger costs around 15,000 to 18,000 because it's from their premium line. This comes for about 2,300, 2,400. Let's keep 2,500. For this price, this is fantastic, guys. Fantastic. Okay, if you remember my video, which I have done long back from Geo Perfumes, Black Tiger, this is my absolute favorite Bulgari Tiger clone. If I compare the quality of this one with this one, I would still say that the quality is slightly better here, because this comes 80 ml for 6,000. Sometimes you might get it for 5,000. So that way, if you look at the pricing, this is more worth. Though the quality in Geo Perfumes is slightly better, because that ambroxan note, which gives that aquatic feel, has that real class fennel aquatic smell. This is slightly missing on that, but for the price, like I said, because 6,000 or let's say 5,000 for 80 ml, 2,500 for 100 ml, this is definitely worth. For that difference of quality, this is definitely worth, because this has not compromised on the quality for what price it sells for. This also is a beautiful fragrance, very sexy smelling, high chances of getting compliments, very simple but beautiful fragrance, citrus, ambroxan, and a very nice woody note. Okay, it's a simple formulation but beautifully created. You definitely have to try. I did try the original Bulgari Tiger as well. That has a very sharp, pricky ambroxan note. My friend who owns it always says that he gets itchy feel. When I tested it, I got some pricky feel on my brain here for 2 hours, but after 2 hours it was all fine. But he gets that itchy feel throughout. So some ambroxan notes can do that sort of irritation to some people, because I've heard this from many others as well. It's not just about Bulgari Tiger. Here I don't get any of that sort. Okay, there is no problem with this at all. The ambroxan note is slightly sweeter than the original. It is slightly sweeter than Geo Black Tiger as well. But that's an advantage, because this smells more evident than this one. This can make you nose blind very soon. This also can make you nose blind very soon, but it is more evident because it is slightly sweeter than Geo or Bulgari Tiger. But it performs fantastic. It smells fantastic. This is my absolute favorite in 2023 for the summers from Lattafa. That is Alkium Silver from Pride series. So that's about it. That's at number 1. I hope you enjoyed the video. Let me know in case you've tried any of these. Comment down in the comment section. See you next time soon. Keep sharing the videos. Cheers.